push-ups. I've been doing sit-ups. I've been doing chin-ups. I've been doing pull-ups. I threw up once, but I'm okay now.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Ysn Power Hour, powered by our friends over at Toyota of Warren. DJ on this side. Then you have the Richster over there, also known as the Hulkster, also known as he's a sucker for you. Nothing like a little Jonas party to get things started. It is a Thursday edition of the Ysn Power Hour, the 26th of January. Happy end of the month to all you folks out there. Hope you're having a good one, making it a good start to your 2023. I know we are. We are getting geared up, my friend, to head to Las Vegas, Nevada. My first time. Your first time?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
Sam's
think I've been
first
west
time?
of
The Mississippi.
LSU, so Baton Rouge.
Call him Baton Rouge.
They probably played that song 100 times while we were down there.
And I probably sang it 100 more. I
Every inning.
love it. Call him Baton Rouge. Big day. Really. I mean, yesterday, the snow day, you get back to task. I mean, some teams played, most didn't. I was really, I got to share this before we get started. I was really disappointed. I understand why. A lot of the stuff was canceled. The school game I talked about, man, I talked it up. I was so excited for it. And then they did the right thing. They made the cancellation, but then they played it later on in the night.
They still had the doubleheader, yeah.
I was like, man, how cool is that? Do you think more schools – we'll hold that question for a little bit later till we get past the birthdays and stuff like that. We'll talk about that, ways that schools can possibly get a better attendance at their games, because we've seen a steep decrease of attendance at basketball games over the last 2 decades, and especially over the last decade. So I'm interested to pick your brain about thoughts that we can do, and we can hopefully kick it around for some ADs. But before we do that, let's blow out some birthday candles. What do you say?
Let's do it.
January 26th birthdays. We got some sports ones, which I'm excited about. But leading off, one of the greatest TV show hosts of all time, they say, Ellen DeGeneres, turned 64 today. So happy birthday to Ellen.
I can't believe she's 64.
Doesn't look it at all. Some of these people, I look at this, I'm like, wow, they cannot be that old. Not saying that 64 is old for all you folks over there that are hovering around it. 61, Wayne Gretzky. See,
Wayne Gretzky looks older than 61.
He and Ellen DeGeneres kind of look alike if you think about it. if you put their pictures side by side, they're not far off.
They're not.
I mean, Ellen DeGeneres could play Wayne Gretzky in a movie. So Gretzky turns 61, the great one. We also have Vince Carter turns 45.
Wow.
That's crazy.
See, he was so young when he was in the league.
He stayed forever, though.
But that's like a topic for a lot of people that played in professional sports back in the day, because these contracts you have now are life lasting. You make a $10 million salary in a span of 4 years, you're pretty much set for life. Back in the day, a lot of these players, especially baseball, made under $1 million per year, and they still have to work after they're done.
Well, I think the biggest thing, and we might as well kick it off with that. The biggest thing for me when you look at that is the way that athletes take care of themselves nowadays, as opposed to the way you used to. I mean, everybody makes fun of Babe Ruth, right? Because he was, built, his body was built by hot dogs and cigars. And bourbon. But like, you don't see any of the guys nowadays. Like you'll never see them. Very rarely will you see them smoke a cigar.
Yeah.
Like Joe Burrow in a celebration only.
Yeah, like that's when you win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was Babe Ruth. Like every night he went out.
Yeah.
Give him 1,000 hot dogs and a cigar.
Yeah, they treat their bodies much differently.
They're always,
even college kids do now.
Yeah.
Like they're almost, I don't want to say like mandated by the university to eat a certain way, but there's some programs out there like, LSU has such a big dietitian program where they build a whole culinary facility just for their athletics. And, when you're getting free food to eat at their place, their food is going to be top of the line, where it has a lot of protein, a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruit, and they're not going to throw many options out your way that are unhealthy. Like you're probably not going to go to LSU and see hot dogs sitting in a container. Like you're going to go see some valuable chicken, some broccoli. Like I watched a video on it, so I've seen it.
Okay.
But like protein shakes, they're not throwing French fries your way.
No.
They're not throwing hot dogs, cheeseburgers, maybe.
You're not having ramen.
Yeah. I mean, like you're eating top of the notch food, but they pretty much make you eat it.
Well, I went to Westminster. I got my Westminster hat on today. Go Titans. But we had like limited options. You had a place we call the Tub, which you can go and get like wraps and things of that nature, and your fries and burgers and stuff like that. You had the cafeteria. Most people ate at the Tub. The cafeteria, I mean, it was limited options as well, but like this is a body that was built by ramen. Like this in college, it was as cheap as you could get.
Yeah.
That's why it's so interesting to me that these universities have figured it out. They fuel their athletes.
Oh yeah.
With that 93 instead of the 87, like we're used to filling up with. The output's going to be a little bit better.
It's going to be way better. Yeah.
So, you look at LSU and they've got the financial resources to do it. Ohio State. I saw Alabama do it.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to see that. But from our standpoint, you get in where you fit in, kind of deal. Like you got to eat, and sometimes ramen's the only chance you're gonna get. From that standpoint, hey, look who's back, Hog 587. Hey, what's up, G? I think he's talking to you.
What's up?
Number one in the hood, G. So I guess my question to you is like, you seen, I know that YSU baseball did this because there was a player that like made meal prep for everybody. Who was that? Was that
Colin Floyd?
It was Floyd. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he brought bags of chicken and bags of rice on the road trip. He actually made me one, which was nice of him. But he would bring in a full cooler, put it in the bus, and he'd unload the cooler. It'd be chicken that was already made, cooked, and rice that they would just microwave, and they would have huge bowls, and they would all meet up in one room and they'd all eat it. Like
that's awesome.
Just for protein, the night before, kind of like a pregame meal, like the night before. Usually when we'd get there Thursday night would be the night that they'd really fuel up and get ready for the weekend.
Wow. And then they'd play video games beyond belief.
Yes. We play a lot of video games on the road.
That's incredible. I can't wait to do the road trips. Just a couple of them this year.
Yeah.
I get flack from Shane and from Danny all the time. But like, you're a big boy. You can handle it. Yeah. I don't understand why you don't need me out there. No, it's fun. Don't get me wrong.
It's very fun.
But it's sometimes we can get a little bit distracted. Like on this show, we can distract each other very easily because we know each other's buttons. We know how to push those buttons. Like if you talk about a phone booth right now or a stop and go,
it's gonna be a funny show.
It's gonna be a giggle fest. All right, let's talk about what you and I went to Hoban the other night, and I know we talked about it yesterday, but I don't want to rehash any of that stuff. But it was a great opening to a great relationship with Archbishop Hoban and YSN. But there was one thing that stood out to you and I that we've talked about constantly on text messages, in face to face, all that stuff since. It's the sellout crowd in today's day and age in 2023. How very little we see sellout crowds in any capacity, in any sport, and especially in basketball in Northeast Ohio. I was taken aback by that, and I thought, wow, how can we figure out how to do this and replicate this across the 60-plus schools that we have? What was it about Hoban? Is it the product? Is it the dedication? Is it the loyalty, the fan base? What was it, do you think, that filled up that stadium the other night?
I think it's tradition. I think that rivalry has, been around for a very long time in the Akron area. Walsh Jesuit and Hoban are separated by just 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Two Catholic schools, kind of like your Ursuline Mooney. I think Ursuline Mooney has a greater effect around this area. I think it's a bigger rivalry than that, but it's still a very good rivalry. Long-standing tradition. First thing we saw for Walsh Jesuit fans when they came up was beat Hoban shirts in black. Now, Hoban had the whiteout on. I didn't see anything against Walsh Jesuit, but you could tell those shirts have probably been around since their freshman year or so, because some of them were a little bit tight on some of the guys. But I think it's just tradition over there. Like, they're used to separating their time for athletics. Like Tuesday night, they could be home studying, they could be home playing video games, they could be doing other things. But I think it's a strong standing tradition with the athletes that support one another, because we saw a lot of volleyball players that were there,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of soccer and baseball shirts from Hoban. So I think all the athletes come around and watch every single game that they can, even on like Tuesday nights. And I can't wait to see what it's like on Friday, because Friday's the weekend.
I can't wait to see tonight. Like, what's it like for a girl? Anthony's going to be there on behalf of YSN. What's it going to be like for Hoban girls games? So it's going to be interesting. So let's start talking about the feasibilities of why we saw the straight decline in fan attendance at these games. So it could be the participation. There's not as many kids participating anymore. So there's not as many fans. That's one of them. The one that athletic directors and people pin on us is because they're streaming there, because there's broadcasts going on, that people would much rather stay at home and watch on their television or their device rather than going to the game. I think that one's bunk. And I'm not just saying it because I'm the owner of the company. I'm saying it because we've seen opportunities where what we do actually gets people excited about the product that's being on the floor or on the turf or whatever it may be at that time. But those are the main two that I think of. And then the third one is people just have more things to do. They have other things to do rather than go to basketball games, go to football games and things of that nature. Do you think that's a piece of it where to me, that's probably the over 50 percentile is we're so stretched thin because of these things anymore. It's ridiculous. We're involved in too many things.
I think it has to revolve around the students, like the student bodies. From my experience growing up to now calling games after I've graduated college, like I don't want to say there's not a student body that's like taking over, but there hasn't been too many student sections that have been, overwhelming.
Like impressive.
At Hoban. Yeah.
20 rows deep.
Or even standing student sections. Might be sitting together, but, I went to the Canfield Polling game last Saturday, and I told one of the person I sat next to, I said, what has changed? Like, what happened? Like, when I went to school, when we went to Poland, couldn't buy a ticket.
Yep.
It was a sellout. Doesn't matter if you're playing on a Sunday, which would never happen, but it would be a sellout. You would have the student sections along each side all the way up, standing, camo night, yelling at one another, chanting back and forth. In the first half, there was no student section standing in that game. And that's the biggest rivalry, one of them that we have in the area. Now, in the second half, they got up. Probably somebody told them to get up.
Yeah.
But it was just a complete different atmosphere than what I'm used to for the Canfield Polling game. And I think the students set the tone for, these communities, because a lot of the schools that we cover are smaller, and we kind of rely on the student sections to, carry the load attendance-wise, along with, the atmosphere in the building. And I just haven't seen that this year. I did another game the other day. I'm not going to name where I went, but, for those that saw me, I was there. But there was like 10 students there.
Yeah.
And it's an MBAC school. It's a small school. I get that. But there just hasn't been much student support. And I don't know why. I really don't. I don't have an answer to that.
That's it. Again, it's really intriguing. I lean on there's 100 other things to do. And, we've had this discussion before. You've got AAU, you've got JO, you've got all this stuff, and everybody's kind of involved in their own thing as opposed to necessarily supporting your classmates and in your school and different things. I love when I see coaches, even that are coaching during that season, say, hey, we're going to cut practice a little early and you're going to go over and you're going to support the team. Nothing warms my heart more than that, because it takes a lot, because there's a sacrifice on the coach's part, because you're giving them an hour, which some people be like, well, you get them enough, you can give an hour here and there. If you're preparing for a team, if you're preparing for a successful season or season in any capacity, you're giving up an hour to go have your kids watch their classmates. That's a sacrifice.
Oh yeah.
That's a sacrifice. You're sacrificing an hour of time that you should be studying film, or you should be working on how to defeat your opponent or make yourself better. And you're saying, I'd rather have these kids support one another in their class than necessarily, go all in on this week's game. And that's really what it is.
Yeah, no, you're right. And that's happened before when I played. And I always appreciated the time, because, I tried to make every game I could for, my classmates and my teammates as well. And I think our group had a very tightly knit connection where we all supported one another. We had huge crowds every night, doesn't matter what sport it was. And that's the difference. And I don't know where to point my fingers to. I don't know what has changed, because we had phones when I was in high school.
Well, here it is.
I don't know.
Sigler put his finger right on the pulse, I think. And this is going to be an interesting question for you, so remind me to ask. Siggy says student sections, period, just are not as full as they once were. Kids are used to go to events as a way to hang out. Now they can hang out through their devices. I think that's pretty right on spot.
That's true.
And, like I told you about my Nokia phone that had Snake on it. Nobody was blowing up my phone trying to hang out. We all knew where we were going to be. We were going to the game.
Oh, yeah.
Tailgates and things like that. I mean, you always knew, and then you decided at the game where you were going to go after.
Exactly. Or before, we usually planned it out like, all right, hey, let's all meet at, let's say, Joe's house. And from Joe's house, if it's a basketball game, because I stopped playing basketball my sophomore year, say the game's in Girard, we are going to Jib Jab at 5:30, getting to the high school hopefully by 6:15, so we could watch some of the JV guys play. And then we're, there the entire game. And then after the game, usually might go somewhere else, or we just go back home. But it was a way to get out, way to socialize, way to hang out with one another. And we used to bring cars, like just 3-4 of them as a friend group, because we couldn't fit in a one. But now it's different. Like, I don't know.
People are more individualized nowadays.
Like, there's less big groups of friends than there used to be.
Well, and the world's a little bit closer. So you've got what I always thought was cool. I'm friends with a lot of these people now that I used to play against, right? But when you were in school, you were enemies. Mortal enemies.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we always had that one girl that dated somebody from the opposing school, and she'd come in with like a Crestview baseball shirt on, and you would just like, ugh.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Because they know what they're doing. They think that they're standing out and they're saying, well, my boyfriend plays for the Rebels, or my boyfriend plays for the Clipper. I don't care. If we're playing on that day, you're the enemy.
Yeah.
And now it's like some of the baseball players will come in with Rebel baseball shirt on, or whatever team may be. And it's like, you look at, well, this is my buddy. We play together in summer league. What? What?
Yeah, I mean, I played in summer league with a bunch of guys that were around the area, Poland guys, but I'd never wear a Poland Bulldog shirt to school. You could pay me to wear that to school.
What we did, I will say this, my senior year, it was a group from Mooney, Ursuline, Palestine, and Lowellville. We were all together, and we did a hat trade. So the kids from Ursuline got the Bulldog hats, and we got theirs, and Mooney got Lowellville and vice versa. And that was cool. I was the only one that had the stones enough to wear it. So I still like it might still be in my house somewhere, this Ursuline Irish hat. Charles Hodge was his name. He went to Ursuline, and his kids go to Boardman now at this point. They're not quite in high school yet, but they're standout athletes. And he always comes up to me and goes, man, you remember you're the only idiot that wore the hats that we traded off? Like, that was supposed to just hang up in your room. I'm like, yeah, man, if I get a hat, I'm wearing it. I'm rocking it. But like everything I just said, I guess I contradicted myself, but like we were already graduated. So it didn't matter, but it was one of those things where I think there was, I don't want to say more school loyalty,
maybe pride.
School pride back in the day than there is now. Like, not that kids don't like where they go to school.
Yeah.
But I think that they almost, and you're going to have to forgive me if I'm wrong, in some cases, they care more about the summer ball teams and the AAU teams and the JO teams than they do about their actual school teams. And I'm interested about that.
Some of them don't even play high school.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's crazy to me.
I don't know. There was so much school pride.
Yes.
With when we had the EP on the left chest, right over your heart, right? There was so much school pride in that, and I don't know if I could have been the same person if I didn't have that, because it was something. Not that there's you don't bleed for your summer ball teams and your I call them the alternate season teams, but for me, it's just not there anymore. It's okay, but like not until like week 13 in football do people like come around. They're like, oh my gosh, my alma mater is going to go. I had more school pride for South Range than some people did that graduated from there. And that's confusing to me. You know what I mean?
It is. It definitely is. And, I kind of feel the same way. I can't feel we were fortunate, growing up, we had a lot of pride in what we did, and, going out there and putting together a, winning performance, and, also doing it with respect to our opponents as well. And I don't know, just watching Josh's generation kind of grow up, it's a little bit different.
Just like,
It's just like, we're going to go play this team. We win. We lose. Like, I don't know. There's just not that competitive fire. Like we had some like arguments, like when we played teams.
Oh yeah.
Like we would have some fights and it would get heated quick. I haven't seen like anything like that.
No.
Nothing. Like I haven't seen an interaction where like they're jawing and in each other's face. Not that I promote that. I don't want to, not necessarily I want to see that, but you want to see some fire out of these kids,
especially in a close game against your rival. Absolutely. Like, I love the Ursuline Mooney rivalry, one of my favorites, but you barely even feel tension. You know what I mean? Like, they cross out the M and they cross out the U and they do all that stuff, which is good. That's good promotional pieces, right? They do that for Ohio State and Michigan.
Yep.
When we were in that building the other night, and we're not trying to put Hoban on a pedestal here, when we were in that building the other night, there was tension.
Oh, there was a ton of tension.
There was tension, and it was like, man, I don't know if we're going to make it out of here if we had to.
It was awesome. But I love that feeling. Like, that brought back so many memories of high school basketball growing up. Just like the atmosphere, the student sections, the warm-ups, everything just felt intense. Felt like there was a purpose to that game.
Well, you remember when they were warming up. So they out comes Walsh Jesuit out of their locker room. They do their thing. The announcer calls them out. And then you hear Hoban calls them out. And there was a point that the Walsh guy was standing there. One of the Walsh players was standing there, and he wasn't letting the player through. Like, he's trying to get out and go to, the near side. He wasn't letting him through it. And that was when I went, uh-oh, here we go. This could be a throwdown.
Yeah.
Let's get to Sammy's question. How long after graduation before you could wear the Rivals gear without getting that icky feeling? I mean, it was like you would never wear Poland, not even to this day. So if I got you a Poland quarter zip,
I will not wear it.
You and Quinn are in the same boat.
I will not wear it.
That's incredible.
We were just raised differently.
What do you mean you're raised differently? What if you and your family decide you're gonna move to Poland, and your kids are Polish?
My mom's from Poland.
You have Poland in your blood, man.
I know. My mom went to Poland. I just can't do it.
What if your kids went to Poland? Wow. What would you do then?
That's a little bit different.
Would you wear a Poland gear if your kids
went?
See, I could see you being like Coach Dad and having Poland everything.
See, if my kid plays there, I'm going to support him.
Go Bulldogs. I'm
going to support the team, but I don't think I could wear one.
I think you'd be fine.
If I could wear a Hoban shirt.
Hope so. It would cost enough. Our $40 T-shirts. You'd think we get the YSN discount up there. We got nothing.
That lady looked at us and said, $40.
$40, sir. Damn it.
Yeah. See, my dad went to Salem, so probably a story I can't tell, but he spray painted West Branch's stadium.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I mean, it's already resolved. But that was the
Did
rivalry back then.
Did he get the shackles?
No,
Nothing.
nothing.
Got away with it.
Got away with it. Got away with doing it. So
I got a story like that too.
But
I won't tell you the school, but there was spray paint involved.
Yeah, I mean, it just used to be different. Like fights, tension. There's a rivalry. Like, there's no way nowadays. It's just not the same.
Nick chiming in and says every West Branch Salem game is like that, and I will say this. I'll back him up and say it absolutely is, except for. I don't want to say it's tamed down a little bit, but there was a game 3 years ago or so, 4 years. It was one of those, and it was like there was kids getting black eyes, like they were throwing elbows, and this was a girls' game. Wow. This wasn't a boys' game. This was a girls' game.
Well, Salem plays aggressive
always,
and
they showed it last night.
Play style.
Congratulations, by the way, Lady Quakers on the big win over Marlington last night. We apologize that we weren't able to do the game. We were catching some flack throughout the night on social media pages. Again, we can't make Marlington let us in. I was a little bit peeved that they let in a delayed broadcast, and we weren't allowed to do the same. Because that's a game that people would want to see over and over again. But to each their own, man, right? To each their own. But yeah, Nick's right. Every West Branch Salem game like that, at least as far as I've been to. Siggy says free pass if your kids go to the rival. Maybe.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, at that point, if my kids are there, it's.
So I brought it up on.
I would definitely support that.
And I know you don't have the book face, but.
Oh boy.
So it was the Eagles game.
Okay. Like
Philadelphia Eagles. Peyton Manning brings his kid onto the sideline. They're playing the Giants.
Okay.
And his kid has a Jalen Hurts jersey on. And Uncle Eli played for the Giants.
Yeah.
Would you be cool with that?
Well, to be fair, he didn't play for the Giants. His brother did.
Right. But Uncle Eli. Well, I'm sure Uncle Eli gives presents at Christmas time and probably birthdays.
Yeah.
You think Uncle Eli needs to deliver Eli Manning jersey or a Danny Dimes jersey? Or like, what do you do there?
That's actually a very tough situation.
But the next day, the story continues where Peyton takes his son to the Bills game. And he wears a Josh Allen jersey. A gamer Josh Allen jersey, by the way. Like, Josh Allen gave him this jersey.
Well,
now he's on a quarterback tour, apparently. When your dad's one of the best quarterbacks that has ever lived, I guess that's what you do. But my question is, let's fast forward. Man, he's probably 12. Let's fast forward 40 years in the future.
Okay.
He's an NFL quarterback. He's retired. He plays for whoever. Say he plays for the Chiefs. Okay.
Okay.
His son wants to wear a Raiders jersey. And the question I had was, do you let your kids pick their own teams?
That's a great question, actually. I followed in the footsteps of my family. So growing up, Tribe, Buckeyes, Browns, that was what was on TV, on the radio. So I was almost, I don't want to say I was forced into liking those teams, but
you were limited in what you had access to.
Raised on it. Yep. It's kind of like what I talk about music wise. I like country music because I was raised on country music. Yep. But now that kids have a million options to watch any game they want across a million different platforms, it's completely different.
But it's less today. This was the argument I was trying to make in my own household. It's less today about the team and more about the player.
It's more individualized, yeah.
So you're not a Bills fan, you're a Josh Allen fan. You're not a Steelers fan, you're a Najee Harris fan.
But I blame this on marketing.
Oh yeah.
It's all on marketing. Because when, the NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA is promoting games, they're not promoting teams anymore. They're promoting players. watch Seth Curry battle against, I don't know, LeBron James on Friday night on TNT.
But you're seeing it in college now.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder how long until we see at the high school level where you're promoting, come see the South Range point guard and, like your point, and the Gerard power forward in action tonight on YSN.
Yeah.
How long? I guess we have some dictate of that.
Yeah, you're right.
But how long before somebody goes, this is what we want to see? And I think with getting bigger schools and bigger players, we're going to see it sooner rather than later. And I mean, I still make the argument that everything that's professional, you will see in high school in 5 years or less.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's turning into. That's what YSN is. We're ESPN of the high school ranks.
Yeah.
We really are. That's what it is. So it's always interesting to me when that stuff happens because you're like, okay, how long until it gets here? You know, and we live in Ohio, so you can look west or look to New York and say, okay, this fashion is going to take about 2.5 years to get here. You know, you look at the way that girls wear their jeans now. You know, they used to call them mom jeans and make fun of them, and then all of a sudden they came back, and you're like, whoa, why is my daughter wearing mom jeans? You know, and bell bottoms. I wish I knew what was coming back because I'd buy a ton of it and sell it. But, you know, kind of like Dwight's Christmas with the unicorn lady or whatever. Unicorn princess. Our princess unicorn, I think is what it was called. We'll take a last comment here from Sam before we hit our first break. Edgewood keeps a very contentious rivalry with Jefferson and Lakeside to this day. How competitive the schools are with each other plays a huge part fighting for conference.
Yeah, that's my next point there. A lot of our rivalries are in different divisions, which kills it.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I hate keep comparing this, but Canfield and Poland used to be in the same conference, same division. We're fighting for the playoffs. We're fighting for the conference every year. They played week 10 in football. They played middle of the year and end of the year, last game of the year in basketball. They don't play in the same league anymore. They're not in the same division. Same goes with now Mooney and Ursuline. They're in completely different divisions. Used to be in the same. So that is actually a very good point that Sam makes because they are all in the same conference, which means you're forced to play each other twice a year.
And then the bigger school, as we've talked about before, always goes, what do we have this for? That doesn't do us any good. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to come back. When we come back, we're going to hear from Brian Tornar. Haven't heard from BT in a little bit. We're going to have him talk about what's in his bag. You can see the full breakdown on ysnlive.com. But you can also see it here in about 2 minutes. This might be one of my favorite segments he's ever done because I never know what to put in my golf bag and where to put the actual clubs. I'm always like driver up front, you know, just because I know I'm going to get to it always. I'm completely off the mark. So stick around if you have problems such as yours truly about putting what drive or what club in what portion of the bag and what should you have in your bag as we get ready to knock the rust off here in just a few months when golf season comes around. All that and more when we come back on the Ysn Power Hour powered by Toyota of Warren.
We believe expectations are made to be exceeded. At the new Toyota of Warren, it's about more than just getting a great deal. It's about service you can count on and a friendship you can trust. Year after year, we've done what we do best. We've gone the extra mile so you could too. Because we know it's just not about buying a new car. It's the start of a new adventure. Toyota of Warren, driven by you.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun. It all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
Why choose local? Because you live here, work here, learn here, relax here, and celebrate here. 21 WFMJ is our Valley's only locally owned TV station, and our focus is local. Other TV stations don't have that same focus, as their owners are somewhere else. But 21 WFMJ is rooted in the Valley. Local people making decisions that affect your life, right here where you live.
You're looking to your future, preparing for your goals, and they're closer than you think. Because here, success is part of the plan. It's a place where academic and social opportunities are meant to prepare you for life, not just the next 4 years. You'll be equipped to face new challenges and turn hard work into a career. You're ready for your success to take root. And here's where it starts. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Welcome back to the Ysn Power Hour, powered by Toyota of Warren. It's time to check in with our buddy Brian Tonar, where it was a little bit sunnier than it is today.
Ysn Golf Tip of the Week. This one is a little bit different, and it's one that we get requested a lot. Number one, what's in the bag, and how do you set up your golf bag when you go out to play, before you go out to play for that amateur golfer? As you can see, I've got a number of clubs in the bag. I carry a driver, a 3-wood, a hybrid, and my irons are 4 through pitching wedge. I carry 1 gap wedge at 50 degrees, a 56 for my chipping shots and pitching shots, and then a 60 in case I get into trouble or into some high grass or a bunker that I need to get the golf ball up in the air high. I also carry an Odyssey putter, an 11 tour lined, and it helps me ensure that I get the golf ball into the hole every single time. Inside the golf bag, I carry about a dozen golf balls. I carry a bag of tees, ball markers, and most importantly, divot fixers. Because every time that we get out to the golf course, when we make those ball marks on the greens, we have to have the ability to make those putting surfaces nice and smooth. So I ensure that I always have one of those in the bag as well. And I also carry 2 towels, one that I carry on the outside and one that I carry on the inside of the bag, along with a rain hood, just in case we experience in some conditions that are not favorable to golf and have to play in the rain from time to time, to hood the clubs to make sure that they're dry. And that's one of the reasons why that second towel is in there as well. In case we do catch some rain, we want to make sure that we have a dry towel to dry those grips off and make sure that we have the best grip possible. 90% of the time, I don't have an umbrella on my bag. You should. I try not to play in the rain as much as possible. When I go to tournaments, I will add the umbrella to the bag, but I just don't carry it as much as I probably should. Other than that, I really try to adapt the set and get fitted for every gap and every experience that I'm going to see on the golf course. So for me, it's a 3-wood with 13 degrees. It's a hybrid with 16 degrees. And it's your standard irons from 3-iron through pitching wedge. A little bit wider soles. They're built for me to hit the ball high and land the ball softly. And I also have 3 wedges in there with various bounces and various grinds. And the grind is how the sole is developed on the back of the club. See how you have a sole kind of here and here? This is a dual sole to allow me to open it up and hit it higher if I need to. My gap wedge is a little bit tighter, and I like it to hit more like a pitching wedge because I hit mostly full shots with this, in the occasional bump and run. And then my 56 is also very similar to the 60. And I also use wedges that are called full toe. So what this allows me to do is I can hit it and hit some creative shots, especially with the 60 that you would catch up here out of the high rough, and you're still going to be able to get that roll, where a normal club is cut off in the toe here where there's no grooves. These give an added advantage in being able to get the golf ball up and down when it comes to shots that tend to ride high on the face, especially when you're coming out of the deep rough. The ball wants to work its way up on the face. So in that case, I have the benefit of using these grooves if the ball runs up the face to ensure that I have some spin on the golf ball to make sure it stops on the green. Other than that, positioning them in your bag, from front to back. So we'll start with the back first. Is your woods, your hybrids for the amateur golfer who's just getting out there. You want those in one spot. And then I go irons 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I go pitching wedge and gap wedge, sand wedge and lob wedge. And depending upon where the putter goes, sometimes it goes here, sometimes it goes in the back for easy access in and out of the golf bag, especially when it's on the cart. This bag I generally have on a cart when I'm using it. Normally I carry a carry bag with a stand, and it positions a little bit different than this one, but all your golf bags from back to front, you want to make sure that the woods are back here and they're easily accessible when they're on the golf cart. Other than that, making sure that you have enough tees and golf balls in the bag, and divot tools and ball marks as well. So the coins that you would mark a ball with on the green, it's always nice to have an extra couple of those in the bag as well. So I'm Brian Tolnar, and that's what's in my bag, and I hope this series helped you become a better golfer this year.
What a great job. Brian Tolnar always comes through in the clutch. He did a great series this year, and wanted to make sure we got that. We held on to it. I don't know why we held on to it for so long, but we held on to it just to get the snow. But man, seeing that again, seeing that what we thought was like, oh gosh, like I just can't wait for it to be winter break and Christmas, and seeing that beautiful weather just makes you want to get out there and start hacking again.
I know. I haven't played golf. Well, I played golf actually in Florida.
Oh yeah,
I did
a couple weeks ago.
One time I played, because it's so expensive to play down there. But yeah, that was fun. I mean, I miss playing golf. I love playing golf. I want to go play with Brian Tolnar.
Brian Bonar.
I mean, hey, we're still setting things straight for a fourth on a lot of our outings that we go play.
We should raffle one off.
That'd be a cool gift
for if we ever do a raffle. Hey, you can come out be the fourth member of our foursome and hang out with the YSN guys all day. Not that that's a good time. Like we're not we are bad, but we make it fun at least. So if you're looking to win, you might not want to bid on that.
We might not get one bid actually on that.
I'll bid on it. Maybe I'll be 3 and 4. But no, I'm looking forward to it. I know we got a lot of, again, more of those outings this year. So hopefully those helped you as much as they helped us, because they helped me get through some of my golf this past summer and into the fall. So thanks to Brian, as always. We have a great relationship with Mill Creek, and that's going to continue again as we can announce another great year coming forward for Mill Creek Metro Parks and with Brian Tolnar. So we're excited for that. And, the ink hasn't even dried on that contract yet. So we're excited. And once again, thank you to the entire staff out there, for Stacy and Brian, everybody that does everything possible for us. We're looking forward to another great year in 2023. We might even have a golf outing this year.
There we go.
A little YSN golf outing.
There we go.
We wouldn't win our own golf outing, which is bad.
We won't even come top 10.
No, not even close. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Some things you're good at in life, like us in broadcasting world, and some things you're not, like golf.
Golf's one of them.
Like, you're better than I am at golf. I'm not afraid to admit that.
I'm not horrible.
You're not bad at all.
I'm not bad. I'm not good.
I'm not expecting you to win the PGA Tour happy, but like, we have some friends that are really good at golf. Brian being one of them, obviously, but like Aaron Moser, really good at golf.
Yeah.
Steve, somehow a prodigy.
Hits everything straight.
A prodigy in golf, and just like whacks.
He just gets up and doesn't think. Right down the gut.
It's amazing.
It's awesome.
Quinn, not bad.
Quinn, yeah.
Who else? I'm trying to think. We still haven't golfed with Sigler, have we?
Mm-mm.
He'll know. I can't remember if we have or not. I feel like we might have once.
Wait a minute. I feel like we have.
I feel bad not remembering.
Maybe I wasn't there though. He'll know.
He'll correct us, and he'll yell at me via text message here in a little bit. We have a meeting coming up. Sigler penciled it in yesterday on Saturday. He's like, we're going to have a lunch meeting. And I was like, oh, gosh. I feel like he always yells at me. Like, I feel like I'm in the principal's office. Every time Siggy puts me in a meeting, it's like, why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we doing this? And why aren't we? I don't know, sir. Sir, I have no idea.
You
think it's him?
Pop up. Let's see.
Here we go. We did. I would forget it too. All right, Jackalope.
Where was it?
I don't know.
I can't remember for the life of me, but I remember playing.
Were we in Columbia? No, we weren't in Columbia. And I don't know where we were.
Where were we at?
It's gonna bother
Wasn't the
me.
Lake Club?
Was it the YSU?
Was it? No.
No, because we had Quinn.
Flying B.
Oh, that's right.
Flying B.
Oh, that was bad. I do not like Flying B.
Flying B is actually, the back nine is very difficult.
It was the South Range outing.
That's right.
That's what it was.
That is exactly what it was. It was early in the morning. I remember.
And we left. That's what it was. We left. We didn't even finish it. We got through 12 holes and we left.
We had something to do that day.
I
had to leave.
You had to broadcast.
Yeah. Because I remember telling you, I'm like, am I going to be able to fit 18? And you're like, oh, yeah, we'll be done.
We should have been. They overbooked.
Forever. Yeah.
Yeah, they overbooked. And everybody was, remember that last hole? There was 10 people deep.
Yeah. And remember we had to throw a football in one of the holes to win like a closer shot.
We're like, just give us $20 and you can have it. There it is, sir. Yeah, good call, Siggy. Good call. That was South Range puts on a great golf outing. Just last year, it was booked so much, and I want to say that there was a little bit of inclement weather, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
It was dark. It was cloudy that day. I do remember that.
I can't wait for it again. It's going to be good. And here's Sam saying, I can promise you that you are not the worst YSN golfer anymore. Well, Sam, we're going to put your skills to the test.
God, imagine that.
Imagine that foursome.
Oh.
You, me, Sam, and Siggy.
We shoot 100 over.
Siggy's got to sit in Sam's cart because he's not yelling at me anymore. He can yell at Sam. You're just terrible. You're just terrible. Why are you in golf? Like, you have really nice clubs, but you suck. It doesn't add up. I have really nice clubs because of Brian Tornar. That's why. All right, so let's wrap this show up a little bit and put a bow on her. If you were to suggest, going back to our original discussion, how to get people back into going to these basketball games, going to football games, baseball games, whatever it may be, do you have a solution? Because I'm a big problem guy, but you bring a solution. Do you have a solution?
Giveaways.
Yeah. Like, what would you want to see? Shirts?
T-shirt giveaway, hat giveaway,
hot dogs.
Yeah, maybe. At
Hoban, you would love it because you love those hot dogs.
Oh my gosh, their hot dogs were unreal. I don't know why.
Real deal.
I was starving.
Yeah, I was with the same boat.
Take that into consideration, but they were unbelievable. I think giveaways would be cool. Like maybe, hey, all students come out to the game tonight, Friday night. We're playing Austintown Fitch, and you get $2 at the concession stand, or like come out and get this free T-shirt and wear it in the student section, like a whiteout.
What about if it was? Is it, you and I were trying to figure this out? Is it free? It was free when I went to school to go to the games if you're a student.
It wasn't free for me. No.
Ooh, well, you went to Canfield.
You get like student discount, obviously.
Like discounted tickets.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was like legit. Like if you gave free tickets away to go to trophies, T-shirts, and youth involvement. What do they get trophies for? Sam, stop giving trophies away. Trophies are for champions. But I agree with the T-shirts and youth involvement. Like that would be cool. Yeah. Give out they used to give out these basketballs, these little mini balls, and they have like East Palestine on it. See, that would be cool. Like come this game and we'll give you like I don't think you'd expect like bobbleheads like you do with the scrappers or anything.
They don't have the budget for that.
Although, how sweet would it be to sponsor a YSN bobblehead night? Get we don't have the logo up. Get the little YSN, like the one that's on the wall here. It's just a dude, like a basketball player in the head bobbles. I can get behind that.
YSN night.
Well,
tomorrow is Military Appreciation Night at Hoban.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing
it's Canfield too, right? Canfield and Poland, I believe, or Canfield and Fitch. There's something going on in the military we don't know about on the 27th.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Maybe it's a special day. But today, I do want to touch on this real quick before we close it out. Big matchup in the NE8 tonight with girls basketball, Girard and Struthers. That's huge for the standings. I was looking at it a little bit earlier. So Girard, who sits one game back of Struthers. It's at Struthers. All right. So Poland is 13-3 overall, 9-1 in the conference.
Mm-hmm.
Struthers is 9-1 in the conference. Girard is 8-2. If Girard beats Struthers tonight, they're tied for second place. Poland has to play Struthers next week. And Girard split the season series with Poland. If they also split the series with Struthers, they have the potential, if things fall their way, say Struthers would beat Poland, you could potentially have a 3-way tie in the NE8.
Let me know if you're ever going to do this segment again, because I'm going to get the Raid Man with all the numbers floating around. we're gonna load it up. There's a lot of ifs and buts and candies and nuts in there.
It's awesome, though. So Girard, big one tonight on the road. Need to win to stay in contention to at least have a share of the NE8. Now, if they lose, you're 8-3. Struthers is 10-1. Poland most likely is going to win tonight over Jefferson. They'll be 10-1 as well.
Wow.
Then, if Girard and Struthers play and Girard loses, Struthers and Poland would basically be for the NE8 title.
My head hurts just thinking about that. Like that is a Twizzler, dude.
And I'm trying to find the date real quick with my fingers here. All right, next Monday is Poland at Struthers. So that could potentially be the clincher for the NE8.
I'm just gonna go out on a limb and figure that Anthony Hartwig has that.
Let me look.
Is it at Struthers?
Yeah,
it might be the school.
Let's see. Yeah, school.
Yeah, Hartwig always finds his way into these unbelievable matchups. That's so it starts tonight.
It starts tonight. All the action tonight. Girard, good luck. You got a chance.
Only one place you can have it.
Yep. Struthers is a really good team. They started off slow. They're only 12-6 overall, but they're 9-1 in the NE8. So they have really turned things on as of late.
Siggy chimes in, says a lot of schools such as United has a youth night, which is tonight, and all the girls in the program come out and get autographs from the players. That's cool. Love that. We have pictures from it. They do it with softball, basketball. I wonder if Siggy will be able to tell us if they do it with volleyball too. I think that is the coolest thing. I think more schools should adopt that, as well as adopt the school game as well. Sammy says, whoa, Richie, Falcons will fly. Wasn't he the one just barking our tree about rooting for the other teams? That guy's got he almost had a Falcon uniform in the fall. We love you, Sammy. We appreciate you. Thanks for chiming in. Thanks for watching, everybody. Certainly, it's time to get to our What's Your Spark, presented by Joe Dickey Electric. Anything commercial, anything residential, anything electrical. See, it's the seat.
There you go. See, when you sit in the seat, you remember it.
I know it. It's zing, pow, zap. Everything brought to you by DickeyElectric.com. All right. Again, the Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark, presented by Joe Dickey Joe Dickey Electric. Anything electrical, make sure you visit our friends at DickeyElectric.com. Richie.
Pizza Joe's got us good today. Steak hoagie was phenomenal. I'm not going to lie. I was not expecting that.
Best in the land.
That was phenomenal.
Leonard hooks it up.
I think I'm going to have to start going there more often.
I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. Doyle's has let us down today.
I haven't had Doyle's in a couple of weeks because they're always sold out. We're going to have to start pre-ordering.
I will never do that. No such thing.
I don't even know if you can do that.
You can. I won't do it. Just on pure principle.
I mean, we're right next door.
Do you know who we are? Do you know who we are?
Neighbor.
We are your neighbor. We are your sports network. When we come over, we want it hot and fresh.
We're coming.
And we're coming, like Deion Sanders. We coming. Tell him we coming. By the way, if you've never been to Doyle's,
it's great.
Like $4, you get the best meal of the day.
It's got to be the most affordable place in the county.
It has to be. It has to be. And there used to be a bunch of places like that, but only Doyle's now. So wanted to shout out to Dwayne Doyle and his whole crew over there. We're just busting chops. We love you. We'll never, ever ask for anything above any other person. Please, just
get us two orders on the side.
Two extra orders. Like, we'll come over, we'll pay weekly. Whatever we need to do.
We'll pay a weekly stipend.
That's it. We'll just get we can bust open one of these bricks and just slide the money through the wall.
Be like a speakeasy.
Jeez.
but for food.
It'd be like a stop and go. My spark is gonna be. Did you happen to see the DoorDash guy?
I did.
Oh,
That was awesome.
I was all amped up. I thought this is the coolest thing I have ever seen in my life until I turned on the radio to 93.7 and they said it was all a farce. He was mic'd up. There was 300 cameras on him. They got us. It made news nationally.
Yeah.
It'll come out. It was on the Today Show.
Well, they got the attention they wanted.
Yeah.
That's all they wanted.
I was so amped up. I was like, that dude is lost luggage. He did not know what to do. He was, if you haven't seen it, you need to look. I can't even explain what was going on. The referee's like waving him off.
Referee's like,
that somebody said that it was the referees, McDonald's, that he was trying to bring to the referee. I mean, it got so out of hand, and I was loving every second of it. And then it just came to a crashing halt when it was falsified. So hopefully that video comes out soon, because it'll probably be good. Amos says, my spark is what a game last night between two of the better girls basketball teams around. Of course, he's alluding to Marlington and Salem. Amo was our reliable source, if you will, at the game, giving us the updates throughout the contest, where Salem pulled away with a big win over the number 4 ranked Marlington Lady Dukes. That's going to do it for our show today. Any final thoughts, Mr. Giuliano?
that's it.
That'll wrap it up for us. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. It's Friday. We'll have a great show for you from 3 to 4 right here on your sports network. On behalf of Richie, I'm DJ. Peace out. Have a great night. YSNlive.com/live for all your games. Go. YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of your sports network.